I had every intention of...
Every intention of what?
I had everything under control.
How dare you hide something like that?
Well, back to the old grind.
Well, back to the old grind.
That's right, I said it. Kitty comes in hot with an unpopular opinion. I know what you're thinking. Oh, what else is new? Are the Renaissance men coming to town really soon? Maybe, I don't know. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk. I'm here to talk to you about Star Versus, or more specifically, Hekapoo.
Hekapoo! Hekapoo!
I told you, she was getting her own video one day. Plus, it's been a while since I made a Star Versus video. One reason for this is I've been having major writer's block. Not just with YouTube, but all around. I've actually been trying to write a couple videos on other characters, like Meteora and especially Tom. But it's so hard! Tom might end up getting 2 videos. Plus, as you've likely noticed, I've been trying to branch out to varying degrees of success. So, back to the old grind. Look, between you and me, the only good part about writer's block is you have a bunch of unfinished scripts. So you technically aren't starting from scratch. You just put a little meat on the bones. Around the time I made my Moon Butterfly video, the characters I wanted to talk about next were the Magikai Commission. In the beginning, I found them to be interesting characters, and I liked how Star got an episode one-on-one with each of them, except Blackmet, but knowing what happened in the season 2 finale, maybe that was for the best. I thought about doing one big video for them, mostly to ask if they were justified in disliking Eclipsa, or even when it came to switching out Meteora. Obviously, regardless of whatever position I took, that video would have destroyed my channel. So I think it's better that each member gets their own video. Maybe at the end, I'll do one big one to sort of summarize my findings, but that's leagues away. For now, we're gonna talk about everybody's favorite member, who absolutely deserves heaping scorns of criticism. Despite what I am going to bring up, let me just say that I do like her character, or at least I did. She was my favorite member of the Magikai Commission. I liked her outfit and her personality, and the episode Running with Scissors is one of my top 5 favorite episodes. Despite the weird AF implications, you gotta admit, the twist was hilarious.
Took me 16 years, but I totally earned these scissors.
You've been gone from Earth for like 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
I forgot to tell you that time passes differently in this dimension. Not sorry.
Plus, Margot deserves some serious props. Like, that's the definition of perseverance. As for Hekapoo, it was great how they made her the most mature member of the commission, despite the fact she acts like a total teen. Super oxymoronic. Then came the butterfly trap.
We didn't do anything wrong! Hook seems to differ!
But the writers must have thought, you know what? We can definitely do better. So we got season 4.
I apologize for keeping you waiting, but we had urgent matters to attend to.
Urgent matters. At the Corn Shake Shack.
I don't know if I made this abundantly clear, but season 4 was hard on everybody. Everybody's character was at least somewhat wrecked, or they were massive wasted opportunities. Except maybe Jana, Buffrog, and River. They were cool. Same with Jackie Lynn. I'm so glad she found someone. Hekapoo is no exception. On top of making the commission a trio of Flanderized bigots, they also made them super inconsistent. The only one I think was good all the way through was Romulus, but he'll get his own video one day. For Glossaric, well, I made a whole thesis on him. And as for Omni, I don't really have anything else to say besides, really? He would have been much better as the voice of reason. Or he could have been the one to say, we did what we had to, but that doesn't mean we liked doing it.
We had to.
Can you imagine if the power of magic fell into the hands of a monster?
Hekapoo, in my opinion, got it the worst. She would do awful things, or enable hateful people, or go with the terrible flow. But the show would look the other way when she did. Weirdly, I haven't seen anybody comment on it. So like always, let's start at the beginning. Hekapoo, as previously stated, is a member of the Magikai Commission, a group of magical beings created by Glossaric to enforce the rules of magic and protect Muni. Each member of the commission seems to represent a different stage of life. Romulus is childhood, Glossaric is nirvana, Omni is middle age, and Lekmet is seniorhood. And I guess Reynaldo represents a dude in his 30s, but we don't talk about him. He's like Bruno. Hekapoo is a teenager, or young adult. For the sake of argument, let's say college age. 17 to 25, in my opinion. Meaning somebody who does the job she's given, albeit with a constant air of, ugh, I'm done with this crap. Hekapoo's purpose is to help allow the humans to travel throughout the multiverse. To this end, her job is to make dimensional scissors, a device which allows one to, you guessed it, travel between locations, on top of controlling who has access to them. It's like Rick's portal gun, but it never runs out of charge. The only restriction seems to be either you lose it, or something like what happened at St. O's.
We have a Tramophidian crystal in Tower 3. No rift can sustain itself within our walls, so you might as well cough up the scissors you smuggled in.
Therefore, I've heard some people call Hekapoo the show's version of a border guard, considering her control over portals. And I agree, that's a pretty spot-on analogy. According to her, she only makes them for people who she finds to be worthy. So that means rich people, nobles, and the lucky few who manage to pass her tests.
Each pair is made specifically for the entity who earns them.
Again, kind of like most royal honors. Somehow, one of her clients seems to be the Avarius family. I know, apparently they're in charge of the monsters. Or were. But they're still monsters. And as we learn later, Hekapoo is a huge bigot. I'm just saying, Ludo has a pair. Unless he found them on the black market, maybe? Does Hekapoo just ignore this because they're one of the good ones? Sometime before Party with a Pony, she accidentally left her pair in the bathroom at the Bounce Lounge. Pony had found them and used them to try and escape from the guards at St. O's. Before she gets arrested, she grants them to Star and Marco, who use them to go on adventures.
I mean, yeah, she left the scissors in the bathroom at the Bounce Lounge, and what happened then was that I took them. So yeah, basically they're mine.
That's right, Pony. Borrowing is okay as long as you give it back, right? No, of course you wouldn't give it back. How dare you get character development? Like I said at the beginning, most of the commission got one-on-one episodes with Star to both establish a bond with her and introduce themselves to the audience. Obviously, Star probably knew them all her life. If I had to guess, presumably it's family friends, or those relatives you only really see at special events, and you likely never talk to on a daily basis, but your mom insists you just have to invite them for some reason. But now that Star is officially being prepped to become queen, she actually has to interact with them. Uniquely, Hekapoo's episode is more about her forming a bond with Marco than one with Star, and the two would go on to have a close, possibly intimate, relationship.
Pretty please, H-Boo.
Oh, you know I can't resist your adult voice.
To reiterate, I don't ship them. Look, I understand why some people do it, and that video taught me that when it comes to shipping, you should have your own rules, but look at things case by case. But I still think it's a little icky. At least in Running with Scissors, you can write it off as maybe Hekapoo's impressed with his tenacity. But since she did everything to teach him a lesson, I saw it as her playing up the drama of the moment and teasing him. The point is, despite some serious implication problems, Hekapoo was a good character, up to a point. One thing you need to know about Hekapoo is she does not like it when other people tell fibs. Even if she probably doesn't like Glossaric, she was still super angry when she found out that Moon lied to her.
With all due respect, Moon, withholding information about Glossaric and the spellbook has put us all in danger.
Yeah, she might have a point. Glossy might be a colossal D-bag, but he's still an issue of national security. And also her daddy. That came out wrong. In nightlife, she stops her late night hangouts with Marco because he didn't tell her about Star's sleep spelling.
You knew? You knew that Star was the one opening these portals and you didn't tell me?
Then came season 3. I mean, I guess nightlife is in season 3, but it's an isolated incident. Once Eclipsa returns, Hekapoo and the Commission are insistent that she's evil and deserves to go back into Crystal Prison. But as Star realizes, Eclipsa's only real crime was leaving Muni and forsaking her state-approved husband to marry a guy nobody approved of. And I know some people disagree with me, but I still think her decision was selfish. She had a job to do and she didn't do it. If she didn't want it or wasn't able to handle it, she should have had a much better backup plan, like giving the crown up to the nearest relative, or at least do something besides leave in the middle of the night. like a teenager going to a frat party. Besides, what's the worst that would have happened if she got a divorce? The Book of Spells makes the point that human kings are disposable. The worst thing to happen would be that the spider bites would be alienated. Sorry if I got off track. Point is, Eclipsa never tried to destroy kingdoms or unleash Hellspawn, so why would hearsay be enough to condemn her? Even Hekapoo seems out of character with how much she hates Eclipsa, and how she keeps trying to, for lack of a better word, gaslight Star. In hindsight, I really didn't like how the Commission, and Moon, treated Star like a baby that season.
IAMEVI. That just spells I am evil.
That was like totally an admission!
I mean, I saw her double dipping in the ranch at a royal ball once.
Wait, you know what? Maybe she has a point. That is among the most evil deeds one could commit, next to talking in public on speakerphone. As Moon digs deeper, she realizes that, OMG, Eclipsa might be telling the truth. What? In actuality, somebody switched out Eclipsa's daughter with a fake, and they wanted the truth hidden so much, they even went into the archives and rewrote history. Literally. This comes to a head of the trial, where Hekapoo is in charge of record keeping. And you know Eclipsa isn't getting out of this one.
We're gathered here today for the trial of Eclipsa.
Look, I have really started to like what the Owl House did with Kiki this season. Maybe I should have held off on that video. So this dude right here is now my least favorite assistant character. Sean, you suck. You're like Pac-Man with how much unnecessary screen time you eat up. I hope that when you're wearing high heels, you trip and fall off a cliff. Or get inconvenient tummy troubles, or a pebble stuck in your shoe that you can't get out. Whatever sucks more. Back to the video.
Did you eat those babies?
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm afraid I have not eaten even a single baby.
We're on a roll here, people!
What is wrong with... Didn't you hear her? She didn't eat those babies.
Is this why the trial was private? Yeah, Moon only did it at first because she wanted to both humor Star and call her bluff. But imagine how this scenario would have played out if all of Muni was there to watch. At least if they do it where it's just them, they can claim whatever they want. And then afterwards, seal the record so that nobody knows what really went on. I guess Song Day taught them a lesson. Oh my. Moon and the Commission learned a lesson? Did the underworld freeze over? The tables turn when Eclipsa, using a legal loophole, gets the chance to ask the Commission one question.
What did you do with my daughter?
As it turns out, the Commission are so against Eclipsa because they were trying to wash their hands of a much greater conspiracy.
King Shastakan, he wanted nothing to do with your half-monster daughter. So we swapped her out with a peasant girl. We gave her the royal magic wand and she became the next queen of Munich.
As a result, the butterflies from Festivia onward, including Moon and Star, aren't true royals, but members of a diluted bloodline.
My Moon is not some dirty piemonger! I won't allow it!
However, this is where the problems begin. You might be wondering, despite Hekapoo's skill, how much of a role did she play? The Book of Spells holds the answers. As expected, the Commission raised Festivia. By doing so, they lied to her all her life, telling her Eclipsa and Shastakan were her parents, and they were eaten by monsters when she was a baby. I mean, it isn't a total lie, but still kind of a lie. Also, I say this all the time, but exactly how much did everybody else know? Did they know and just not care? Did anybody try to tell Festivia, or were they not allowed, or was she living in denial? What about the other butterfly relatives, like Justin? Did he not care, or was he kept in the dark? Or did he try to help her but the Commission kept getting in the way? Or the spider bites? By law, she's still a member of their family. What did they tell them? That Shastakan's eaten but we have everything taken care of? Of course, the war was going on in the background, and likely with much more intensity, considering what happened to Globcore and his daughter. Festivia was at a loss of what to do, so she had a certain strategy to boost morale. Distraction and circuses. Wall up as many people as possible into Butterfly Castle, throw wild parties, and outside, Mina and the Solarian warriors would do the actual fighting. Apparently, she entertained people for a decade straight, using her magic to keep them going asleep. However, there was still the issue of how to end the war, or put it more bluntly, push it back into the background. She talked with the commission, and she was presented with 2 options. Omni suggested Festivia should try to be kinder to monsters. Why not try diplomacy? But who was the one to suggest Festivia should continue the war? Her dear old Auntie Hekapoo.
No.
Turns out, this isn't the first time that Hekapoo has influenced politics for the worst. A couple decades prior, she was responsible for helping Solaria with her initial campaign against monsters. Sure, she did some good, like with diplomacy. She and Justin are part of the reason the Lucitors and the Ponyheads are allied with Star's family, but she also aided Solaria, a complete and total nutty macadamia nutcase. The thing is, outside of the thing with Meteora and Eclipsa, the narrative never acknowledges any of this. They don't even say it's a she was only following orders kind of way, which for the longest time was my response to Meteora, considering how Shastacan was the one calling the shots. But it isn't. There isn't even the "it was a different time" answer, which you could have used for why the commission didn't think to get rid of Comet. Yeah, it would still be bad, but it would have made a little more sense narratively. And honestly, I kind of understood the fact she didn't like Eclipsa was with Globgor of all people. Surviving the spider bite said that Globgor ate humans, with the ferocity of a housewife after a crash diet, and his atrocities were known throughout the realm. Not only that, but his main target seemed to be Spiderbite Village. And may I remind you that Eclipsa's husband was a spider bite. But outside of one episode, and as a brief gag in The Monster and the Queen, nobody acknowledges this. Which again, would have given her a "this is the explanation, but not an excuse or justification" answer. But no! Because the crew knows Hekapoo is a fan favorite, whenever she does something negative, they will flat out ignore the consequences of her actions, or act like it's charming. But you can't do that, considering how much Hekapoo did, and how she doesn't feel the least bit sorry.
Magical High Commission has also been found guilty of tampering with Muni's history and omitting the truth from the Butterfly family for generations.
This is not Hekapoo upset at her actions. She's upset she got caught. Plain and simple. Yeah, she is called out.
You lied to our family for generations.
But you know who should do it out of everybody? Marco! She had more of a bond with him than she did with Star. And despite the millions of chances, that never happens. In the season 3 finale, Divide and Conquer, Star is at a loss of what to do with Meteora. So she calls a meeting in the Situation Room. There, she lays down the law from then on, cutting the commission off for good.
What are you doing here?
Counseling you?
No. No liars allowed. Leave now. Out! Go out!
Dang, girl, good for you. Afterwards, Star entrusts Marco to help with Meteora. To this end, enlisting the help of a group of friends he calls the Magnificent Seven, which includes...
Each of you were handpicked for your specific set of skills. Hekapoo's basically a one-woman army, and she's also on fire.
Why? Don't say it's because Marco doesn't know about the trial, because he definitely knows something. Considering how Star openly says in public,
no liars allowed.
Tell me, why is Hekapoo helping? Because it's her job? Because Marco's her friend? Because getting rid of Meteora was a mistake and now she wants to fix it? We never find out why. Marco never gets a chance to talk to her about the whole thing with Meteora. Maybe he thinks, oh, it's none of my business. And yeah, maybe he doesn't know the full story, but this could have led to another interesting plot point. Marco could notice, say, Hekapoo at a royal dinner, and Star glaring at her the whole time, or giving her the silent treatment. Star, obviously, would not want to give the details, so Marco could go to the source. This could shed some more light on why Hekapoo did what she did. Again, it would be the explanation, not the justification or excuse, but it would still be cool to see things from her perspective, and why she believes that way. Come on, somebody had to come up with the whole rich people / politicians aren't monsters excuse. Was it the commission? Was it created to save their bacon? And after learning this, how would Marco react? Would he say, you're my friend, but I need a little time to process this? Or would he say, look, you're my friend. So long as you promise to be honest with me, we can move past this. How would Star react to knowing about Marco's continued friendship with Hekapoo, the woman who lied to her family for centuries? I mean, come on, she got pissed at Tom because he went to his own mother for relationship advice. Then comes season 4, where any chance of redeeming Hekapoo is crushed into little tiny bite-sized pieces, like a tray full of TGI Fridays pot stickers. Why did Applebee's stop making them? I'll never get to try them now. Once again, you could have used this time to make a redemption arc for Hekapoo. Could being the key word here. Of course, they are unhappy that Eclipse is queen, and they are doubly unhappy that Star kicked them out. Eclipse did try to be the better person, and was at least polite to them. Still, this doesn't change their behavior. In one episode, they even go as far as to invite Star and Eclipse over to discuss something suspicious they found in the monster temple. And while doing so, they act like trolls. And unlike Glossoric's meeting with them, it isn't annoying but so relatable it's funny. It's super tedious. And Sean, like always, has to act like an A-hat, waving around his stupid family recipe donuts.
They're made with love.
Sean, just fess up. They aren't homemade. You found them in the dumpster behind Krispy Kreme. You fake snob. You know Krispy Kreme makes me sick. You did this to mess with my stomach. Then comes Carnonation. I talk about it all the time, so I'll spare the details, but I don't think Hekapoo was in on Moon's plot to overthrow Eclipse. So, mini kudos to her here. I think at first it was just Moon and Romulus. Maybe when that option failed because shocked Pikachu face, people can be progressive. Moon went with Plan B. Hekapoo's behavior in this episode pushes me in that direction. When she first puts the area under lock and key, it's understandable. From her perspective, a crazed cannibal is on the loose, and all signs point to the Queen unleashing him. She is obviously jumping the gun, but it makes sense for reasons beyond, this is an attempted coup. She was just doing her job and protecting the audience.
Omni is right. We will never be safe if Eclipse is allowed to be queen.
Same with Omni. I think he had hateful beliefs, but again, he was just trying to help out. At the end of the episode, when the truth about Glopgore comes out, Hekapoo makes this point.
We don't trust Eclipse either, but if you think putting everyone here in danger was a good idea, you're the bad guy here.
So yeah, I don't think she was in on it. And as for Moon, I do think her betraying Star wasn't in the cards when they were writing this episode. I think she was gonna pull a Judas and abandon Eclipse to whatever happened, but she wasn't going to outright betray her. Just turn a blind eye to it all. My guess is, after they found out they weren't getting a 5th season, for whatever reason, they threw whatever at the wall to see what stuck. But this video isn't about Moon, it's about Hekapoo. Now let's touch on the topic of Mina Loveberry. So, Moon wants Eclipse gone because of character assassination, and Moon uses the Solarian warriors to force Eclipse's hand. Mostly, this deal is between Romulus, Mina, and Moon, as some sort of evil triangle that isn't Bill Cipher. But Romulus eventually lets his brother and sister in on his little secret when the deal is about to go down, which, not gonna lie, that is pretty in character. Does Hekapoo object because they're repeating history, but with a million times the bloodshed? Does she go to tell Eclipse, or at least provide her aid, or even apologize? No. Her only concern is that Mina is too insane to do the job properly.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
But she's not even following the plan.
Some risks are worth taking.
But she's completely crazy!
So that means she has no problem with overthrowing Eclipse. She just wants it done the right way. Boo. Not only that, but she closes off all the portals between Muni and the rest of the multiverse. Question, did Moon order it so Star didn't get hurt? Or was it so Eclipse had nowhere to run? The most she does is warn Marco, because what is a random human gonna do about it? Especially when you frame it super vague.
Okay, I know you like to get involved because you care, but trust me, stay on Earth.
You're not even gonna tell Moon's daughter, the person she'd want to be protected most of all? Wow, what a great friend you are, Hekapoo. You remember those little friendship necklaces from Claire's? You deserve half. Seriously though, you were there. You saw the kingdom was willing to accept them. Eclipse didn't mess up when Star was gone. Why do you still want her out of office? Moon at least explains that through mental gymnastics, so intent she could probably win an Olympic gold medal, Eclipsa separated her from Star and River. What's Hekapoo's excuse?
'Cause I said so!
And the thing is, you had a reason right there for the commission to dislike Eclipsa. She kicked the villagers out of their homes and didn't provide them with any alternative beyond living in the wilderness. Hey, Eclipsa's my favorite character, but you gotta admit, she cared more about fixing her image than helping her human subjects. I always say it, but you should have gone further with this. Instead of saying this,
"You're the reason I was lost in the magic dimension. You're the reason I was separated from my family, from my daughter."
Moon should have said, "Star, how could you support a woman who helps herself over her own people?"
As queen, it is your duty to do what is best for your people.
But they chose the stupidest reason. What a waste. Later, when the commission prematurely celebrates with a pizza party, which not gonna lie, does look pretty awesome, Hekapoo does begin to see the light. Not because she knows it's wrong to destroy an entire kingdom over petty reasons, or because she's betraying her friends, but once again, because Mina is cuckoo.
Isn't this a little premature? Eclipsa hasn't even surrendered yet, and the last time I tried to contact Mina, she just sent back a bag of old jelly beans.
Hekapoo, appreciate those jelly beans. Have you ever been to It's Sugar? Don't you know how expensive they are? They're like gold. And the narrative acts like this makes her a saint, like we should kiss the ground she walks on, because it's Hekapoo's world, and we're but mere mortals living in it. No, it doesn't! The problem with Hekapoo is she never has some kind of an epiphany. We're told she does, but telling is much different from showing. I guess it's more realistic. The show does make the point that trying to unlearn hateful beliefs can take a while, and Hekapoo is centuries old. But if you wanted a proper redemption arc for Hekapoo, you won't find it here. She just takes Star and her friends to the tavern at the end of the multiverse.
This doesn't solve any of our problems. Yeah, it does. We got a sweet place to hang out as Muni gets destroyed.
So you're willing to abandon Muni to perish in the mess you made. Total perfect redemption arc. You beat out Iago from Aladdin. You should write the book on it, sister. Completely rehabilitated, 12 steps all the way. In the next and final episode, Cleaved, Star asks Hekapoo to open the portals so she can go destroy magic. I'm sure Hekapoo won't do something that stupid. That would almost certainly kill her family, and countless other species.
Yeah, sure. Blow it up.
Okay, I stand corrected. Despite what this scene implies, I didn't view this moment as particularly sacrificial. It felt, for lack of a better word, stupid. For one, Hekapoo didn't exactly seem to know what was going on, nor did she even care. So that's sociopathic. In my opinion, this moment was worse than Moon going from not trusting Eclipsa, but respecting Star was old enough to make her own decisions, to full-on hatred. While the seeds were at least there, and they attempted to foreshadow it, we get no indication about Hekapoo ever being against magic. Moon also gave lengthy explanations for her actions. While contradictory, they were still explanations. Plus, as much as I hate this argument, you could make the excuse that Moon's amnesia was playing a role. Like, part of me still thinks the amnesia arc was gonna be more than like 2 episodes. Hekapoo never got any of that. She never seemed to hate magic in general. She saw it as a necessary tool. And as I mentioned, Hekapoo's decision wouldn't just kill her, it would kill the countless life forms she's sworn to protect, and her father, and her brothers. Plus the estranged brother who's about to go through his own, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good." That's cruel. Her response?
Hey, Hekapoo, you're made of magic.
Look, if I'm being honest, I always had the feeling this stuff did more harm than good.
When? When did we see that? When did you ever feel this way? Tell me. When you ripped a newborn from her mother's arms and threw her on the streets? You seemed pretty happy there. Oh, or what about when you were gonna throw a mostly innocent woman into eternal prison just to cover up your mistake? You seemed over the moon in that episode. Or maybe even when you lied to Vestivia for her entire life. And then you lied to her daughters, her granddaughters, and the rest of her family. Did you think magic was bad then? Never was there a moment where Hekapoo seemed to hate magic. That's why a redemption arc for her character was very important, considering this is her crowning moment. Up to this point, Hekapoo always thought of magic as a necessary evil. Sure, you gotta break a few eggs, but people need to eat. Not only that, but Hekapoo was alive for millennia. Maybe she knows more about the Solarians than Eclipsa. Maybe she could have provided them with intel. But no, of course, it's gotta be this. So magic is destroyed, and Hekapoo is destroyed along with it. And good riddance. And that was Hekapoo, and I'm sorry if I got to be super angry in this video. It's been a while since I had a good rant. As you can see, Hekapoo at first started off as a really great character, but over time, she quickly became an inconsistent, one-dimensional mess. The sad part is, she could have gotten a great redemption arc. Perhaps there wasn't enough time, or her voice actress was busy, but it's still a tragedy. Likely she would still harbor some hatred, but it would have been a cool chance to explore some pretty wild ideas.